I wanted to look at one particular feature on the Missing Links website, and that is the map that shows network effects. So I'm going to zoom out a bit, and you can see these really long red lines, and these are essentially routes from villages into Dumfries, and in some cases in between villages. So here, for example, we have Lockerbie and Lochmaben going into town, and then, along the Lockerbie Road in Dumfries, we have Cullen here. I'll just zoom in a bit for you. Yeah, so we have Cullen having to use A75 to get into town. New Abbey, you have Isle Steps and various villages, maybe forest along the way there. Here we have one of the shortest, which is Treggles. Very easy route to fix. Now this short section here is for Hollywood. Again, I'll just zoom in. And the red line after Hollywood is actually very nice to cycle, but the reason it's considered a missing link is because we have an opportunity out here at Ellisland to actually reach that by bike, but the A76 is what you go from a very pleasant rural road onto the A76, which just isn't realistic for cyclists. And so if we remove the missing links, you can see this is what we currently have, and it's very bitty. There's no accommodation of the villages and so on. And then when we move a bit closer into the town centre and zoom in there, the red circles are the various sort of major roundabouts. Again, if we remove the links, you can see we have these kind of like islands of safety, but they're very small. They're good. They're a good start, but they don't connect to anything. They leave you isolated and drop you onto sort of major roads. Now there are some good joined up paths. The river in particular helps because we have good paths, shared paths on both sides of the river. And then there's one-way cycling through the pedestrianised area in town. But you can see when we close the missing links, when I reintroduce the red lines, we can see it's much more connected, even from the most populous parts of town. So I'm thinking about areas like Georgetown, Colside, Larchfield, Noble Hill, where they're highly residential, but as we can see, there aren't any official routes there, and there are an awful lot of missing links. So you have this space between the Annan Road and the Lockerbie Road. Summer Park is well served internally. It has good cycleways there, and because it has the Caledonian Path to the north, you've reasonably good access to town. But when it comes to going south, we hit the Lockerbie Road again, we hit the Annan Road. And if you just look at how many people could be served by better infrastructure there, in what is effectively a 10-minute cycle into town, into the shops. If I take off the missing links layer, we can see the current situation and the fact that safe routes are very sparse and disconnected. But pop them on again. This is what we would like to see, and you can see great routes into town that can enhance the economic life and well-being of people in Dumfries.